Good morning, students. How are you all? Fine. Okay, very good. Students, now is the session of economics. Okay, and in the previous sessions of economics, we have been discussing the topic meaning and components of aggregate demand. Okay, till now we have discussed the C component of aggregate demand, that is called the consumption demand. Okay, we have discussed what is called consumption, what are the types of consumption, what is consumption function, what is propensity to consume, what is average propensity to consume, what is marginal propensity to consume. Everything we have discussed about the consumption component, consumption part of aggregate demand. And I hope that you all may have gone through these topics well from the textbooks, and certainly there should not be any kind of confusion, and if you have, then you may contact me as usually. Okay, students, in yesterday's session we also came to learn something, came to know something about the investment demand. Okay, in that very session we understood that investment in fact is addition to the stock of capital of an economy, and any expenditure by producer on the asset, current asset as well as fixed asset, is considered as investment demand. Okay, and we also knew that investment demand is of the two types. One is called autonomous investment and the other is called induced investment. Okay, what about autonomous investment? This investment is the investment done by the government sector, and it does not depend on the level of income, and it remains constant in the short run. Okay, what about induced investment? This is that investment which is done, which is made by the private sector with a motive to earn profit. Basically, this investment is related to the investment by business sector of an economy. Okay. Now, let us discuss what are the different determinants or factors of investment demand. Here, our concern of a study is about induced investment, not about the autonomous investment. Okay, it is autonomous of everything. It is fixed, it is constant. So, in fact, the volume of aggregate demand depends on induced investment. Okay, so what are the factors, what are the different determinants of induced investment, or you can say what are the factors on which the level of induced investment depends. You know, students, basically there are three main factors which affect the demand for induced investment or investment. They are the rate of expected return, number one, the cost of borrowings, number two, and the market conditions, market expectations, number three. Okay, so let us discuss all these three factors of induced investment one by one. First of all, the expected return, expected rate of return from investment of additional capital. It is also called MEI, or marginal efficiency of investment, or sometimes in some books you will find it as MEC, or called marginal efficiency of capital. What is this MEI, or this is the expected rate of return? You know, this is the rate of return that the producer, the investor expects before investment. Okay, that means whatever expectation of return is from the investment of an additional capital, then it will be called as MEI or MEC. Okay, normally if the rate of expected rate of return is very high, MEI is very high, there will be more and more induced investment demand. That means the level of investment will also be high. And if the MEI, the expected rate of return is very low, which may be of because of many reasons, then the investment demand will also be very low. Okay, so if you correlate investment demand to the expected rate of return, you will find that there is direct relationship between the investment demand and the expected rate of return. Okay. The second important determinant of investment demand is the cost of borrowings. Okay, students, we are discussing the short-term equilibrium of an economy at macro level. And it is assumed that the producers, the business sector, the producing units make investment through borrowings. And when they borrow from money market or somewhere else, then they have to bear its cost in the form of rate of interest. Okay, so whatever interest is paid for the borrowings from money market or capital market or somewhere else, this implies the cost of borrowings. Okay, so if the rate of interest is high, that means the cost of borrowings is very high, and in this condition there will be less investment demand. Okay, just reverse will happen if the rate of interest is low, that means the cost of borrowing is very low, and if the cost of borrowing is very low, then there will be larger investment demand in the economy. Okay, so here you will find that there is an inverse relationship between the cost of borrowings, that means rate of interest, and the investment demand. Okay, now come to the next one, and that is business expectations or market situations, etc. The expectations from the market, sometimes there is recession like situation in the market, sometimes there is boom like situation in the market, sometimes the sales are on very high, sometimes the sales are on very low, and so many situations prevail in the market. Okay, so if the market conditions are favorable for the producers, then they would like to invest more. And if the market conditions are not favorable, that means the demand is on fall and other conditions are not supportive, then generally the producers or business class would not like to make any kind of investment. Okay, so this is the third most important determinant of investment demand in the economy. However, there may be some other determinants also, such as government's policy, government's tax policy, government's fiscal policy, and infrastructural condition. There may be ecological conditions, so many factors, but these are the main factors on which the investment demand in an economy depends. Okay, now see students, if you draw a curve of induced investment demand, then by keeping the level of income along x-axis and the amount of induced investment along y-axis, then you will find that the induced investment demand curve is positively sloped or moving in upward direction from left to right. Okay, so till now we have discussed the meaning and types of investment and determinants of investment demand. Students, there is a peculiar relationship between the rate of interest and MEI and investment demand. What kind of relationship is observed? Higher is the rate of interest, less is the investment demand. But if less is investment, higher will be MEI. And if lower is the rate of interest, larger will be investment. And if larger is the investment, lower will be MEI. You can ask me why it is so. Larger investment, then why MEI is low? There is a reason. When investment takes place at larger scale, then the profit is shared by more people. It requires employment of new factors during production process, and whatever profit will generate, that will get distributed among those factors who have been employed. Okay, so in fact, with every new investment, what happens? Employment increases, employment of the factors increases, and profit gets distributed. Thus, MEI has a tendency to fall. Okay, so I think I have tried my level best to explain all the important facts of investment demand, and I expect you will go through these topics, these contents properly from your textbook, and then if you have some confusion, you will discuss with me. Okay, now see students, aggregate demand, that is sum total of C plus I. AD is equal to C plus I, in which C is equal to C bar plus B by, that means C is the consumption, that includes autonomous consumption and induced consumption. Similarly, I is the investment demand. It is also of the two types, autonomous investment and induced investment. Okay, so now let us understand the relationship. AD is equal to C plus I. C has two components in which one is constant. What is that? That is autonomous consumption. I also has two components in which one is constant. What is that? Autonomous investment. Okay. Now you know, Keynes has assumed that in the short run there is less possibility of induced investment, specifically during recession, and there occurs only the autonomous investment which remains constant in the short run. Okay, the value of induced investment is negligible and the value of autonomous investment is constant. Similarly, under C component, the value of autonomous consumption is constant, only the value of induced consumption changes as per changes in the level of income. Okay, so what you will conclude here? You may conclude here that in fact the behavior of aggregate demand depends on the behavior of consumption demand, particularly induced consumption demand, that is depending on the level of income. Okay, so when you draw aggregate demand curve, it is also positively sloped, moving in upward direction from left to right. But this curve will not start from origin. Why? Because it includes a part of autonomous consumption also. So as consumption curve starts from any point above the origin, so AD curve will also start from above from the origin, any point above from the origin, and it will be moving in upward direction from left to right. Okay. Students, till now we have discussed about aggregate demand in detail, and I would like to advise you to go through this topic once again properly and thoroughly from the textbook. Okay, and if you have again any confusion, any sort of confusion and queries, then must contact with me. Okay, and now I would like to finish my lecture, and in tomorrow's session I will discuss the next important topic, that is aggregate supply. Okay, so thank you very much.